All right, everybody. Hi, and welcome to Tradespace After Hours. We've been getting a lot of, questions on the DMs and asking us about the space, asking us how things are down in Puerto Rico, and asking us for more information about who we are and what we do here. And we're here to, give you some information on that. We're going to make this little video for you guys to basically inform you what's overall happening here on the island and what's going on in Tradespace and basically give us our backstory of who we are and how we got all this project started, right? Without further ado, Spencer, let's start it off with what's our story? How'd you get started in this?
Yeah, so I get this question all the time. So what's your story? How did you get involved? Where are you from? And the question is I started out in college. When I first was introduced in the market, I guess it was a little before college. So I was first introduced in the market when I was 14. I had conversations with my grandpa. He was a CPA. He owned his own business. And basically, he would talk to me about the whole value investing. So we would talk about liquidity. We would talk about balance sheets.
You started trading at 14?
I didn't start trading at 14. That was when the seeds were planted.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
So at this time, I was playing soccer. I was worried about girls. I was worried about friends. I didn't value what I had at the time.
Okay.
So I kind of let that pass by and the seed kind of set in the soil, right? And I went on and I played high school sports. And then eventually I went to college. So I spent my first year, there was a community college from where I was from. They gave inner city schools a scholarship. So I spent my first year there. And then after that, I went to Michigan State. So Michigan State, I quickly found out that college tuition is quite expensive, right?
Yeah.
And so naturally, I'm just thinking there. I'm in my dorm room. I'm thinking about how can I get to this point where I can pay for some of this, right? And I reflected on the conversations I had with my grandpa. And I was like, hey, the market, I've always been around the market. This is something that's interesting to me. And then I learned. I basically hopped on the internet, found out everything I could find out about it, right? I slowly reached out to people. I was like, who can I talk to? Who can I learn from? And I spent day in, day out. Age of 18, I started basically just diving in, right? I spent hours on YouTube, hours devouring content. I was on different webinars.
Straight to stock market, right?
Stock market, whatever kind of markets, right? And I was just learning about kind of the fundamentals of the marketplace,
okay,
right? And so what's always interested me, and I guess it's more of the hustler mentality, is flipping one into two. How can I make my money work for me, right? Because your money, it naturally it sits, and I'm like, all right, well, where can I get some returns on this? Where can I get some XYZ? What can I do with this while I'm going through school? And I had these dreams of being a doctor, right? And so that's kind of my path. That's where I started out. And then I reached out to a couple companies, right? And I was like, yo, what can I do something for free? Can I be an intern? What can I do? And then they all said no. I swear, they all said no. And I was like, well, shoot, what am I going to do? I'm a college kid and I really want to learn this, but they don't teach it to you in college. I was in classes and I was trying to understand and nothing, they just wouldn't teach you anything. They would teach you theories. And so eventually I found a company named Sanlucci, and that's who I reached out to.
How'd you find out about them?
I found out on Twitter. So this is another question I get all the time is where did you come across this, right? And it was just countless hours and I came across it on Twitter. So they were giving out a scholarship at the time. Something they were doing for whatever they were doing at the time. And I was like, listen, I sent the email and Charlie knows this. So Charlie is the partner of Sanlucci, right?
Yeah.
And Charlie knows this. And I sent him an email and I think on the email it said, listen, I'm not interested in the scholarship that you guys are offering. So I think it was a scholarship for the class they were offering. I was like, I'm not interested in that. I can't afford the class. But I can work. I can work for free, and this is what I want to do. And he said, yeah.
Hey-yo.
He said, yeah. So I found out later that it was just right time, right place. So the guy that I was interning with, I basically just started out bare minimum. Knew nothing. The things I was saying to these people, I was like, like I look back on it now, and it's the most embarrassing thing ever. Because I'm like,
everybody has to go through that. That's great, dude.
exactly. So I'm reaching out and I'm like talking to these guys, and they're probably like, man, like this kid is annoying. Like I would just hit them all up. I'd be like, hey, like what can I learn here? What can I learn here? Is this good? Is this good? And slowly, like I just was integrated into the business, and we slowly started working, and that was how I'd spend my days, right? So I would work for Sanglucci, and then this was, I want to say, my junior year of college. Senior year of college, I told him I was going to work for free. That was the deal. Like, I knew that the value I provided was nothing of anything that would be comparable to a monetary, basically, anything. I knew the value that I provided, that it would never compensate in any terms of monetary value, right? Yeah. And so I'm learning, and I'm trying to learn, and I understand my place. And so at the time, like I had to get other jobs, right? So I worked as a janitor. So my day started as such, right? And my grandma and my mom don't know about this, but they're kind of pretty much the reasons I went to college, right? Okay. They kept pushing me. They're like, you got to go to college. You got to get a degree. You got to continue.
More because of the family, right?
Exactly. So, and I have a problem. Like, I don't want to quit. So once I start something, I'm never going to let it.
That's a good problem to have.
Yeah. So this is kind of what I did. And I knew that I had to pay for my rent. I had to pay for all of these loans. I had to pay for all of this, right? Right. So in my mind, I'm like, okay, how am I going to do this? And I got 2 jobs. So basically my day started 5 a.m. 5 a.m. I'd wake up, right? And I'm in college. Like, I've got 7 roommates at the time. Everybody's loud.
Jeez, 7 roommates. Whoa.
Everybody's loud. Like, it's the college environment. So sleep just didn't exist. Sleep didn't exist. So I would wake up at 5 in the morning, maybe on 3 hours of sleep. Right. And I would go in, and I was a janitor. So I worked from 6 in the morning till 10 in the morning. And I basically opened up one of the buildings on campus. It's called the Michigan State Union. And so one thing about Michigan is it's really cold. So like a lot of the mornings I would spend like shoveling the sidewalks and shoveling everything, right? So it'd be really cold, and you would just be shoveling, salting. Kids are getting out, they're going to school. Right. It was super pretty, but it was freezing. And so that was my days. 6 to 10, I would take out trash, I would clean toilets, I would do whatever was needed to
be. And in between
janitor.
that time, you would also be working for Luch.
So this is the day. 6 to 10 is when I'd be the janitor, right?
Right.
On my breaks, I'd be working. I would be looking at, this was during the crypto boom. I was looking at cryptocurrencies. I was in the chat room talking with members in the chat room. And then from 10 till 4, I would be working with Sanglucci. I would be active, involved, trying to learn as much as possible. What can I learn here? What can I do here? What can I do there, right? Yeah. And during that time, I would go to class sometimes I wouldn't go to class, and I would just figure out ways to where I could learn the stuff and teach myself on the side. Yeah. So it was basically like full-time job, part-time college. Okay. And and that's how I did it. And then so from 4 till like 8 at night, I would go work for these other families. I basically ran a corner, and what I would do is I would do all their lawn care. I would do like cleaning garages, weeding their driveways, and
straight hustling.
Yeah, exactly. So and I actually took over one of the corners because the city was supposed to mow, but they never mowed. So I just mowed it for them. And so that was like my corner. So I would do that from 4 to 8, and then 8 to like 9, I would go to the gym, and then I'd go to bed and do it again. And then slowly, like I graduated college, and then the opportunity, I moved back in with my parents, right? And I was like, hey, like this is great, like I missed you guys, but
you didn't decide to pursue your career.
I mean, I'm old, man. Like once you move out of with your family, like it's cool, like you want to be with your parents and stuff in moderation. You know what I mean? It's for me, it was like, okay, like I want to visit you guys, I want you to be in my life, but I need my own space. So the opportunity, Lucci moved down to Puerto Rico, and I was like, hey, listen, like we talked about it previously. He was like, yo, come down to Puerto Rico. And I was like, cool, let's do it. And then we never like capitalized on it. And then so I just hit him up one day and I'm like, hey, I'm coming. And he's like, sure, whatever, sure you're coming, right? And then I came. So that was it. That was kind of my story. And then, so now with...
That's when you guys, that's the first time I met you, because that's when you went to San Juan.
Yeah.
I remember we were shooting a video over there with Lucci.
Yeah. So yeah, that was when he invited me down. He invited me down to come to Puerto Rico, check it all out, right? And so I come down here for 48 hours, literally, because the flight in Michigan got delayed. So I was gonna come down for 3 days, 4 days, but it got delayed. So I was like, I hit him up. I'm like, yo, listen, I'm gonna be like half a day to a day late. Like, do you still want me to come? And he's like, man, it's up to you. So I'm like, whatever, man, I'm coming. So I come, I'm sleeping. He's got a little spot that he offered me, so I was just staying over there. And 48 hours, stayed here, checked it all out. That's when I met you. That's when I met a lot of people down here. And then I went back to Michigan, and I told my parents, I was like, listen, guys, I'm leaving in 2 weeks.
It's done.
And that was it.
Sets deal.
That's it. That's what I did. And yep, that was, ever since then, we opened up the office down here. Part of the mission was opening up the office. And then just being in an environment where I could bounce ideas and just learn, right? So naturally, right. Like my life as a progression has just been steps. And so for me, in my mind, this was just the next natural
You hustled your way up. That's what I'm going to tell you that.
So yeah. So that's kind of the hustler mentality. But yeah. What about you?
Wow, tough to compete against yours. Well, I came across trading. Well, let's backtrack here. I was in college 2 years. 2 years into college, I started coming into entrepreneurship. About the first year of college, I came across this video on YouTube about this kid. I forgot his. I remember. I think his name was Alan Wong. He made an app. He made an app for a police scanning app, right?
Okay.
And in the video, he had like a Lamborghini. He was flashing it, but he was giving context to the story, more like, listen, it's not what you learn inside of college. It's what you learn outside of college. It's what you learn.
Yeah.
It's what you do with your spare time. It's what you do, what you build with that time. It's about working hard in and outside of college. And he was explaining how he would take coding classes, and right after taking those coding classes, he would go to the library and still learn other stuff. And then that's how he built this app, which then therefore, made him his money and his fortune. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. And as soon as I saw that video, I enrolled in a coding class. I tried learning Java, which I did not like. And that was one semester that I experimented with it, but that planted the seed of there's something else out there. There's something out there that might take me to the goal that I want to. So right after that, I remember I came across another entrepreneur, which is pretty famous and everybody knows who he is, Ty Lopez, right?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I came across this program. I took a flight to LA to one of his conferences, and I learned a lot more about entrepreneurship. I learned a lot more about business, and I saw some other entrepreneurs there, and I was able to have a chat and see how different things were around just the business world. So when I came back, my mindset was already the gears were changing towards that angle.
Yeah.
And then I came across trading with a video on YouTube about another Lamborghini, about this girl, 23 years old, who's a Forex trader. And at the time I saw it, I was like, nah, I don't think this is for me. So I went to the website, I checked it out, and I saw a chart, and I was like, boop, I'm out. I don't know what this is. This is not for me. This is too much complicated, too much math.
Yeah.
Then I don't know how I felt on that video again, like 2 or 3 months later, but I came back with an open mindset, and I decided to give it a try. So I was like maybe a year and a half into college. I gave it a try. I started trading currencies. I set up a demo account. I took their lessons, and then I started liking it, so I paid for the course. After I paid for the course, I really got into it, and then I started crunching the numbers, because my passion has always been aviation, right? And I want to someday be able to buy a jet and fly it on my own, right? So I did the numbers, and with what I was doing with the degree, I wasn't going to be able to make enough money to buy a jet. I wasn't going to be able to have money to afford it. I wasn't going to be able to have money to, do the things that I wanted in life.
Right.
And I crunched the numbers through trading. I was like, listen, if I do this for these much years, if I make this much amount, if I keep discipline for this much time, I can make it and I'll have a better life. But the only sacrifice was, well, I'm gonna have to drop out because I'm gonna have to give it my all, right? And I put myself in a position where if I didn't succeed in trading, then I would have nothing. Mm-hmm. So I dropped out. But doesn't mean that I was successful at trading at the moment. I was getting the gist of it.
Right.
But I put myself in that position to succeed. It was do or die. So I dropped out. I remember telling some of my friends, I'm dropping out. They were like, you're crazy, dude. You shouldn't be doing that. Out of my family, they was like, oh boy, you're like the black sheep now. My mom was like going nuts. She was like, oh my God, this is no, you're going the wrong way, yada, yada, yada. But I still pursued it, and eventually it flipped around, and they were supportive, and everybody, started showing some more support and more love towards what I was doing. And then I started trading currencies. I remember I would go to bed like 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, just trading the London sessions, just trading and trying to get a better grasp of day trading and swing trading. And on that route, I started working. I was working with my mom. I would save up some money. I would put it in the account. I would blow the account, then I would put some more money, and then I would go back and forth on it. Over time, I was starting to get the hang of it, right? And push comes to shove, I started becoming a little bit more and more successful at it after maybe like I'm 5 years in now. So it's just been trading for me, and that's all. And then on the side, I've been just, learning about aviation and flying, and then learning more about businesses, but mainly I just focus on trading. And maybe about a year ago, 2 years ago actually, I met up with a mutual friend of ours. Drew. He told me he was interested in crypto at the moment, so I hit it off with him. We started talking, we started meeting up. We started talking about crypto, we started talking about business opportunities, we started talking about, the future of markets and all that stuff. And, he made like this little, not little, but he made like a group event where a lot of people showed up. Like it was just like a networking event, right? And I told two of my friends, yo, listen, I got this friend. He's gonna have this event. He's inviting people, just networking. And I think it'd be a great opportunity for us to just show up, right? And see what's up. So I decided to show up. I told two of my friends. They came along with me, and in that event, I started talking, networking. That was the first time ever I actually went to a networking event. And it was a great experience. I thought it was amazing to build relationships, put yourself out there. And afterwards, I was about to leave with my two friends, and someone approached me. And that guy was Lucci, right? Here in San Juan.
Of course.
And he was like, yo, what's up? Like, and when we hit it off, we started having conversations. Like, what do you trade? I trade options. At the time, I did not know who he was at all. And I told him, yeah, I trade currencies. And then we started talking, about trading and all that stuff. And then he told me about this idea he had for a space around on the island. And I was like, yo, that sounds great. Let's keep in touch and let's follow up on that and see if I can help you out in the future or anything. Push comes to shove, he goes out, he has these events in the States, he's running back and forth. We keep a little bit in touch, and then we meet in the next event. Where we started hitting it off a little bit more. We get more into details about trading and more into details about, the island and all that stuff. And nothing. The event's over, everybody goes their own ways. And maybe about 2 weeks later, I head down towards the west side of the island, Isabela. I went down to the beach with two of my buddies, and he shows up randomly. He just picked up his family from the airport, and he said, screw it, I'm going straight to the beach. We're going straight to the beach, not even pack your bags, let's just go, right?
All right.
And when I'm at the beach, just chilling with my friends, I look over to the side, and not even like, 3 or 4 feet next to me, there he is. Like, we're talking about like, 80, 100 miles away towards the west side. We're not unplanned for anything. It's like, yo, what's up? What are you doing over here? And then we just started just talking, hitting it off, right?
Yep.
And then we dove into more about the details of, building the space and building all this, the stuff for the office. And I told him, yo, I'm gonna introduce you to one of my buddies. He's a good with IT. He can probably help you out a lot with this project. And push comes to shove. I presented to my friend, and he's like, "Yo, right, let's run, let's do it, let's go, it's set." I'm like, "Great!" So we start building up this office space, and then he and I talk about like the discussion that he wants, he needs someone here to help out with the office space, and he needs someone from the island, and push comes to shove, it was me, and we like he presented me the opportunity. I was like, "All right, let's do it, let's go for it," right? Yeah. And that's basically the story of how I came across Lucci. And I remember that a little bit before that was around probably end of the year, last year, 2019. And I remember we were helping them out shooting something for St. Lucci, and that's when I met you in San Juan. Yeah. That's when you were right, and I didn't know who you were at the moment. You worked at St. Lucci, but I was like, whoa, that's pretty cool, another trader. And I started like getting into this community of traders and all that stuff, and from there on out, it was just like, all right, let's dive into this options world, right? It's been a freaking wild ride, but it's been a fun ride, and all this blossomed. Yeah. Like you are here working with me. We're both working together. We're both creating this awesome community. We're both creating this awesome environment for traders, and it's just like a unique experience that I feel like we're so blessed to be in. And traders in and of itself that come into the office really enjoy the space and really enjoy what we're creating here and the beautiful things that this island has to offer for them. It's like a trader's paradise, to be honest. Like what's your experience been like since you've been here?
I mean, it's literally paradise. I mean, not even just a trader's paradise. It's literally paradise, right? So we're in Michigan. It's cold for forever, right? Like I would say 8 months out of the year, 7 to 8 months out of the year, it's cold. Like this year, it started snowing end of October, and didn't finish snowing until the beginning of May.
Right.
And so, like, my friends are like, "Yo, what are you doing?" My family's like, "Why are you moving?" And I'm like, "What do you mean? Why are you moving? It's literally 83 degrees. Like I'm wearing a t-shirt and shorts, and you're in snow pants." And then they're like, "Oh, okay, that makes sense. It makes sense." So yeah, I mean, the environment, like that was of course a plus for me, right? And for me, I love the sun, right? So I like to be in the sun. Like the sun is a big part of my life, and just it boosts my mood. It makes me happier, right?
Right.
So it's always sunny here, and that's one thing I notice. Coming from winter where it's cloudy a lot of the time, or overcast, or like rainy and stuff like that. So that's one of the things. The weather was great. And then for me, the next step was getting around these people that I want to be around, right? And people that are in shoes that I want to walk in.
Right.
And figuring out what they've done in their life and what can I learn from them, what they're willing to teach me, what about them psychologically, what about them in their work ethics, what about them in their day-to-day. Like for instance, like one of the best things I love watching is when somebody is going through a hard time, right? And not because I like to see people going through a hard time. I like to see very like people at such a high level, how they interact with tough things, right? Because it's so easy to get down on yourself
how they
when things are getting tough.
Stuff, how they solve everything around them.
Yeah, and so what I've learned is like people like these people at such high levels, or these people that have places that I want to go to, or such big traders, they're optimistic. You know what I mean? And they look at every situation.
It's crazy to see how every trader here operates, man. I'm telling you, it's like I would never imagine how many different ways you can attack the market, right? And just having it all in one place is just pretty crazy.
Yep.
Like I can't wait to see more traders in here, just like slamming it like through different angles, through different markets at the same time, and see how it all correlates. Like you could be attacking crypto, you could be attacking forex, you could be attacking stocks, options, equities, whatever. Mm-hmm. We all hold the common like characteristics when it comes to trading. And it's so cool when we all get to sit down and just enjoy and talk about like, our days and our experiences in the market that day. It's just like you see the hustler mentality in each one as well. It's pretty cool how everybody has their unique, aspects of trading and angles on it, right?
Yeah, so everybody has their own angle, and everybody brings. And honestly, like coming down here and watching people from different avenues, you learn so many different things that you didn't know previously, or that you're not exposed to. And it's like you don't know what you don't know. And then once you're there and you see it, then it becomes just your life, right? And it's a great environment to have. And then the guys that we have down here right now are great. And then the guys that will come down and that we want to have in this environment, it's going to be great. So it's just looking for like everybody just coming together. That's kind of what we're trying to build. And then we always get the question of like, what is Tradespace? So in your words, what is Tradespace?
Tradespace, we're a community of traders.
Yeah.
We're building a community of traders. We want all types of traders. We want all types of all ages, all markets, everybody who's trader in general, right? Just building a community, sharing similarities, sharing the life, sharing like, living outside the charts, just bonding outside, like working together, spending time together, going out together, like living life together. There's so much more behind the screens of a chart that people don't see.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And that's what we kind of want to build here. We want to build, an awesome environment alongside other traders.
Yep.
Like where you can come in, trade, do your thing, be around other traders, watch them do their thing, then come together, and afterwards, like, all right, let's go get the beach.
Yep.
Let's go. We're going kiteboarding this weekend.
Yep.
How crazy is it where you can just go somewhere and just share your trading life with someone else? That's what we're trying to aim for here. And so far with the guys we've had in here, man, it's been great. It's been great, and we're striving for more. We want the whole island, all the traders involved. We want to create a great space. We want to create an awesome environment for every trader in here.
Yep. And so one thing, like, I feel like traders, when you get them together, number one, like, we all can relate on this level, right? Because if you call yourself a trader or you trade, you've gone through highs and lows in your life, right? Like trading life, it's easy to glamorize the fantasy world of like,
of course,
all the, like, we have our free time, we have this and that, but they don't see countless hours, countless nights behind the screens, right? But of course, that's what
the emotional roller coaster.
Yeah, exactly. So we all share that, and that's kind of what we give so that we can get, and that's the goal for all of us, right? Is a trader naturally is going to want to enjoy life as well, right? And so some of the other things that we've done, like giving back and building a roof in Humacao.
Yeah, and that was great.
So that's cool. Like
very fulfilling.
Yeah. I mean, for me, like I'm always doing like hands-on labor. That's like what I love to do. So it kind of brought me back to the roots of like what I've been taught in my life, right? And so, I mean, with this family, they made amazing food, first off. And they were just so happy that we could help out. And a lot of traders, like, we get to do that, and then we get to go and do windsurfing. We might go do martial arts.
All right.
We'll see what comes out of that. But there's just so many things that we can do, and that's what kind of the countless hours give us in return. So that's kind of what I see.
Yeah, man, it's crazy. It's crazy on all the cool upcoming events we're going to have and all the activities we're going to be running. It's going to be wild. The only thing that's stopping us right now is this COVID situation, man. It's just been like a wild ride. Like, who would have thought this would take so long and what would erupt around the whole planet? It's like, sheesh. But as traders, we're accustomed to adapt. We're accustomed to constant changes all the time. Yeah. So we've been able to maneuver around that. Ironically, as it sounds, this probably is a very big hot time for traders, right, in the market, since they've been just freaking on fire. But outside of trading, man, it's just been like everything's on lockdown. We've been protecting ourselves, restrictions everywhere, limitations everywhere, and it's just adapting to this new life with masks and hand sanitizing everywhere, taking your temperature.
Yeah.
But so far, I think we were able to adapt quite well when it came to COVID. You and I actually foresaw, like, we talked about like how bad this can actually get the day it started breaking out. We went through the numbers, and so far, man, I'm sad to say that we've been on point.
Yeah, so I mean, it's a real situation, and unfortunately, there's a lot of people that are that are going through tough times with this, and so. I mean, I think Puerto Rico did an amazing job, right? So we locked down, and unfortunately, it was horrible, right? The situation was horrible. You couldn't go outside of your house and these kind of things. But I think that definitely slowed the spread, right? And so when you open back up, we got a lot of things. Like people are excited. The mood has shifted, right? The mood we just went through the roof, right? And everybody was happy going to the beach. And this is a tough situation that the whole world is pretty much going to have to deal with for the duration of whatever this comes, right? And so right now we're kind of slowly closing things back down, but the office is still open. So that's cool. We get to come in here. And I think luckily I got to spend some time with you and you opened up your house to me, but like some of the tough times are when you're trading alone, you know what I mean? And so, I mean, coming from Michigan, like I would trade in my own room, and you just, there's only so many conversations you can have with the dog, right? I'm over here talking to the wall. I'm over here talking to, I don't even know what, right? And so just, having the space that we can come to and regardless of the situation, we're able to come together and kind of relate and approach the markets together. You know what I mean? And so at the end of the day, we all have that relatability. We're all going through similar things, and that's the best part about it, and so that's the beauty of having the office.
Yeah, agreed. Like, and it's baffling to see how everybody here is taking, their COVID precautions and how they're all like adapting and coming together, like, during these lonely times, man. Like everybody's forced to be locked up. Like it's actually, it's bringing sort of traders together. They have like a hot topic to talk about, this COVID situation, this, trading market, this, all the stuff that's going around here. It's crazy, man. There's a lot of opportunities that are being presented right now, and it's just taking advantage of this time where it sucks that we're all locked down, and it sucks that we're being limited, but in essence, you're sort of building extra time, and it's what you do with that time that's going to allow you to push forward, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of people are, some people are just chilling out, and some people are just grinding it out. Grinding it out in the dark, and then when the spotlight comes back on,
that's how it always goes.
That's how it always goes.
The overnight success. It was never an overnight.
Of course, man. Everybody always sees the tip of the iceberg, but no one ever sees, below the surface of the ocean, right?
Yeah.
And man, there's like, in terms of opportunities, man, sort of drifting over to the side, there's no better place to be than Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
Man, it's like, I would have never thought, and I've been here all my life, I'm a local, right? I would have never thought that there would have been so many, business opportunities and growth opportunities here on the island. Like, when you came down here, like, what was your experience when you, came across all the cool people that we've already come across?
Yeah, so there's a close group, and it's not even close because it's growing, and there's a lot of entrepreneurs, right? And everybody's got their own thing, right? That's in essence an entrepreneur, and it's amazing to listen to all of these people, all these different walks of life from all over the world, come together and talk to each other and kind of learn from each other. You get to hear about all these opportunities that, hey, we got this going on over here that I don't even know about, right? And so I'm like, tell me a little bit about this. What's going on? Like, where did this even pop into your brain, right?
Yeah.
And so I think as entrepreneurs, I think as like people from basically trying to create their own path, there's a certain personality that comes along with that, right? And so it's just amazing to brush shoulders with it. It's one of those opportunities that is exactly why I came down here.
The people that walk in through that door all the time, it's like, I would have never imagined. Like,
that's interesting.
This dude over here, like, works with all the solar here on the island. This other dude is working on this farm.
Yeah.
That's, this whatever. Everybody's just like on their own grind, but it's like big projects.
Yeah.
It's like huge projects and people that come from the States, and it's just wild to be around this, like, talk about hustler mentality and talk about that being in that energy field. It's like, whoa.
Exactly.
It just drives you, pushes you forward. You're like, all right, there's much more out there, man. And it's right here at the doorstep. Coming through that door all the time. And even better, like, since the island is so small and everybody's more or less, located around San Juan, Condado, like, you walk down the street, dude, and you don't know who you're walking next to. Like literally,
Exactly,
man. It's
exactly.
like you walk down the street in Condado, the Ashford, and there's so many business opportunities and entrepreneurs. Like literally, you can just bump into someone at Chili's and start talking, and who knows? Maybe he's the owner of Ford.
maybe not.
Who knows?
But
There's a lot of people down here, man. It's great. Like right now in time, I would say there's like if you want to put yourself in a spot where you will be presented a lot of opportunities, I'd say, I don't know, take a trip down here and check it out. Take a trip down here and check it out. I mean, it's the like my friend calls it, the biscuits of life, man. You just have to put yourself in a position where the biscuits are located, man, and you know, just go for them all the time. Go for the opportunities. It's a funny analogy, but it's true, man. It's true. Like if you think about it, put yourself in a position where there is opportunity. Exactly. You're not gonna find a business deal in a cornfield.
Hey,
are you?
You might. You never know what you're gonna find in a cornfield. Let me tell you that. But beside the point. I mean that was the reason I came down here as well. There's just so many different reasons, and one of them was to brush shoulders with these amazing people, right? And to see these different avenues that I wouldn't even go down, right? And think about just different ideas. And so when you're around that, you're surrounded by that, it becomes natural. But it's something that's something unique to here. And I think that there is a growing entrepreneur group down here, and it's amazing to be around. It's amazing. So
yeah, man. Yeah, I completely agree, man. If there's anybody out there and you're on this quest and you're on this venture of growth and opportunity, we welcome you down here. If you're a trader, you're welcome as well. Come down to the office, visit us. We'd love to have you here. We'd love to share some, experiences with us, talk, grow together. And I wanna leave this off with like, just do it. Just like right now through this tough times, just push forward. Take advantage of the unfortunate situation, as bad as it sounds, and grow as a person. What would you add on to that?
Yeah, I mean, it's just you're always given an opportunity, right? And regardless of if it's something bad's happening in your life, whether it's good happening in your life, there's always an opportunity somewhere. So that's kind of just how I approach life, and more or less you just follow what's right for you. Yeah. And for me, this was the right opportunity. And that's what I did, and I'm happy that I did it. I'm very happy that I did it. So
good. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad we're all here. Well, thank you guys for watching Tradespace After Hours. Stay tuned for all the upcoming other videos we're going to be sending your way, and thanks for watching.